of them. But when you live in an area that's basically a living version of the day room at Creedmoor, I mean, and you don't take advantage of it? What are you talking about? Let's go to John. John in Reno. You're on 77 WABC. John.
Hey, Lionel, I wanted to talk about Trump's great week.
Uh-huh.
Do
you still want to do that?
Week.
Wait a minute. Do you still want to talk about that, or did you used to talk about it?
Well,
I was just wondering. All I'm going to say, I was just wondering. And thank you for taking my call. Can you hear me? Thank you for taking my call. I was just wondering. I wanted to say, I don't want to anymore, but at one point, a couple of weeks ago, I wanted to talk about the President's Week, but I don't anymore. I'm sorry, John. I'm having fun with you. Talk to me, sir.
Well, just like I said, the Dow would drop.
There you go. Just like I said. I've never spoken with you before. How would I know just like I said? I don't even know you. So let's pretend we've never met, which we haven't. Hang on a second. Tell me right now what you think at this moment. Talk to me, sir.
Well, I think the tariff plan is working out wonderfully.
Why is that? Tell me the evidence. Stop for 1 second, sir. Please, I beg you. How do you know it's working wonderfully?
Zimbabwe, Israel, England,
wait a minute.
Others.
Stop for a second. Stop for a second. Hold it. Stop. Wait a minute. Zimbabwe?
Zimbabwe.
Wait a minute. Hold it. You're saying, I think... Let me get this straight. Let me see if I get this straight. Because I think you're a good man, John. I think you mean well. And by the way, there's nothing worse than when somebody says, John, he means well, not good. And when somebody says, street smart, not good. Or, he'll give you the shirt off his back, not good. Because what does that mean? That's, of course, a street version of retarding. But I kid, of course, because it's true. So, John, tell me how they're doing in Zimbabwe. I haven't heard this one.
Well, they were the first country to make a deal.
Zimbabwe? Now, what is our basic form of trade with Zimbabwe? And God bless the Zimbabweans. But what do we trade with them regarding an anent?
Minerals.
Minerals. Okay.
Small amounts of minerals.
Okay. Small amounts?
Relatively small amounts.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Whoa. Hold it. I think we've got a promo here, Billy. I think we got a promo. Forget that Sid thing. John in Reno says, let me get this straight. Let me see if I'm reading this right. The tariffs are working because Zimbabwe caved, and they are known for giving us a small amount of minerals. Right? Is that about it?
They were the first to cave.
They were the first to cave. Let me tell you something, John. A lot of people might say, this man doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. This is disjointed. It's logolalic. And he speaks in kind of a convoluted, kind of a detached lunacy. And they'd be correct. But that doesn't make you a bad person. Because I think in your heart of hearts, and this is important, you wanted this to be important. You said, I'm going to call up. And you had no idea this would be the Hindenburg of calls. You had no idea. But that doesn't make you a bad person. And I want you to call up again. In fact, do me a favor. I want you to prepare less for the call next time. Because I like that. There's a certain kind of a free-form part about your whole thing, which I dig tremendously. Ben in Syracuse, you're on 77 WABC.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Great. Ben, first of all, calm down. Just tone it down a couple of notches. This excitement, this effervescence, it's too early for that, my friend. So let's start again, Ben. How are you, Ben?
Not bad.
That's more like it. That's right. Calm and relaxed. Horrific. Almost comatose. Not Oshios, but comatose. Talk to me, sir.
Well, I just started listening, man, and I was wondering, are you on, every weekend?
Well, we can't tell you that, because Sid might ban me. I have no idea. Ben, at this particular point, I'd like to explain something which is so interesting, which is a new form of radio programming, which I enjoy. It's called No Planning. It's called Schizoid Radio. I think I might be letting the cat out of the bag, but it's complete weekly programming with no scheduling whatsoever. You never know who's going to get. In fact, the new thing is they're going to be putting people who aren't even signed with the station. It's kind of a new kind of an avant-garde thing. It reminds me kind of like the AOR days. Remember when you had great, local radio, college radio stations? It's kind of like that. Ben, take me into this kooky world. You're in Syracuse, correct?
Yeah.
What? Hang on now. You got to calm it down. You're screaming and you're yelling and I know you're excited. We got to respect the volume. Ben, what do you do for a living? Or what do you claim to do?
Oh, I work at Amazon.
Wait a minute. Hold it. Tell me about this. Now listen, Ben. I don't care if that's your real name. Let's change that in case somebody says, wait a minute, is that the Ben I work with? Because I don't want Bezos to find out about you. By the way, you know Bezos is marrying that thing. Lauren Sanchez, have you seen her? Oh, my God. Looks like she went through a windshield.
Oh,
Ben, enough about me. Ben, what do you do at Amazon?
Hell yeah!
I'm a picker there.
You're a picker? Hang on a minute. Wait a minute. You mean like guitar picking or pickers on that show on TV? What do you pick exactly?
I get like the items for everybody.
Is it stressful?
I don't know. Not really.
Is there a high self-harm rate there? Because I could see it being pretty tough. Because I love Amazon. You know what I love the most? I don't know about in Syracuse, but I love the fact that in New York, the Amazon folks will commandeer an entire block, and they get out of their car. They stop because for some reason or another, I think it was under Bloomberg, people decided let's not have cars on streets anymore. Let's just have one lane and the rest of it walking, bike, and Amazon trucks where hundreds of people will have all of their items that they're sorting to put on these weird bikes and these carts. And they're God bless them because they bring everything to you. Anything you want is there on Amazon. I appreciate that. I'm serious. I think we need more of you.
Thank you.
Ben, how do you do with the ladies? May I ask? Is that too personal? Am I going too far? Is that considered a no-no?
Oh, you're good, man. I'm married.
Really? How long have you been married?
About a year.
How do you like it so far? Is it good?
Yeah.
What's the biggest message you would give people regarding how to keep your marriage alive, how to keep your life alive? What's the secret, Ben? Ben, what's the secret? Tell me.
Oh, man, I don't know.
Come on, don't give me that I don't know business. Because I know let me tell you something. You play your cards close to the vest. A lot of people say, hey, that guy Ben, he's barely alive. Shut up. The man knows what he's talking about. I'll bet you before you got married, you were a Lothario. You were a wild man. Am I right? Huh? Am I right?
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
What was your best pickup line, Ben? What was the line that slayed him all the time? Tell me, Ben.
Funny.
Tell me.
Yeah, I don't even have one.
You know what, Ben? I love you. You know what? You call me anytime. You know what? Flag that call. That is the best. You know, excuse me, with all due respect to my good friend Sid, that thing with P. King, the Ben call. People 5 years from now, I'm going to meet them and say, excuse me, are you Lenny, as this one guy called me? Or Leon? Yes. Remember that call with Ben? Yes. That was radio gold. Let me tell you something. We just got started. Great. I love it. Our number, by the way, friends, is 800-848-WABC. Now, you're probably looking at your phone and saying, WABC. Do you think a lot of kids know what that means? Anyway, it's 9222. I've got a lot to talk about. Diddy. I've got a lot of... I think Diddy's getting a raw deal. And I'll explain to you why, if I ever get to it. Because with calls like that guy, Ben... Oh. All right, my friends, we have more coming up. Lionel with you on 77 WABC.
Overnight with Lionel. WABC. D'Agostino. Law by...
All right, here we go. The One Piece. The One Piece is real. Okay. I don't know what you meant by that, but yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I'm just playing some Lionel. He's on from 2 till 5 a.m. on Saturday/Sunday morning. And that's why I'm posting this right now. Because my man James Farley, I told him a couple of times already that he's on. So he's on weekends now. Lionel. There you go. That's it. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. Whatever. I don't give a shit.
7 days a week.
There you go. Booyah!
WABC can do for you and your business. Call 929-522-7175 and advertise with 77 WABC.
There you go.
Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Positively Ernie, the podcast.
Rihanna Parolo, a lot of people are in a situation where they're not happy with their
Sure.
work. I mean, I can't even remember the statistic, like 2 out of 5 people are unhappy with their job. That's a lot.
Sure.
And so what happens? Do you say, I'm going to stick with this, I'm going to find ways to talk to people, find a better way to stay here, or do you leave?
It depends on every situation. You know, sometimes you might not have the financial backing or ability to leave. It all starts with a conversation. If you feel like somebody's mistreating you or there's a lack of company morale and there's more positivity needed, start a committee. Get involved in that way. If you don't ask, the answer's always no. So at least you can say at the end of the day, you tried and gave it your best shot. The best time to also look for a job is when you have one. So you could always pivot and say, what's the environment?
True.
But there's always going to be difficult people. So you always have to pivot and be flexible, like you mentioned.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform. You talk.
People are talking about people. Let's give them something to talk about.
We listen.
Let's give them something to talk about. So let's talk about.
77 WABC.
Alrighty, my friends, Lionel with you. God. Oh. I like that speech, that commercial, promo, whatever. You know, if you have a problem with your job, you should vote from a committee. I think what we should all do is say, Chad, let me tell you something. I formed a committee. Sit down. Let's see, out the door. But you know what? Let me tell you something. That was a wonderful piece. That reminded me. It was a very good piece. Girls said, sure. Did you ever remember the great was it National Lampoon? When it was Bill Murray, when they did the Mr. Rogers thing, when he said, I like to put my feet in the wading pool. Sure. Why don't we go outside and I like the way your face scrunches up when you played the bass. Sure. I miss that, Mr. Rogers. I'm telling you right now, I miss that, Mr. Rogers. Here's a couple of things for you to learn and going to work. Don't joke. Nobody's your friend. Don't tell them. Don't joke. Never compliment anybody on anything. Never say anything. You don't know anybody. Those days of, I was thinking to myself, you know, when my father, the stuff he would say innocently to women or co-workers, he'd be indicted today. So that's the rule, my friends, because remember, we have no sense of humor. I want to tell you something which I think is interesting, which is pretty good.
Nothing's a fucking over.
Boring.
Everybody said, you ever believe that shit?
There's
It's
a group of
over.
people who love to sit around and they love to talk about the fate of talk radio. They love it. Talk radio is dead. Talk radio's this. Talk radio's that. And you don't know what the hell you're talking about. But they love to say it. I'm sure, Billy, you've seen that. People say, you know, the problem today. Do me a favor and shut up. You're not an expert. You're the problem with cardiovascular surgery. Because everybody's an instant expert. Let me tell you something. Talk radio is like going vinyl. Think of Lionel with vinyl. Let me tell you what you're hearing right now. It's retro, it's raw, and it's raw. Is that so wrong? It's raw, and it's weirdly, I don't use this word too often, but it's cool again. It's old school, but in all the right ways. It's like vintage shows. Let me tell you something, you probably didn't know. Do you know that more people watch The Sopranos today than they did then? It is better today than it ever was. It's timeless. Why? It's filthy, it's sexually coarse, it's racist, it's real.
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
about what the mob
love
is.
them.
Or as they would say in Channel 4,
I love The
cheesy.
Sopranos.
It's what it was. So a lot of these youngsters, I think, right here on our show, these youngsters, Herman.
Oh, hello, Andy Crowley. Oh, you are late. Yeah, I'm always late. I'm a night owl.
It is. A lot of kids will say, "This is great. What is
I'm a night owl. Don't you
this?
know
Was
that
The
already?
Sopranos. When was this on? About 40 years ago. Really? They said this? Yes. It was this violent? Yes. This is great. I know. It was the last, I think, if I recall, it was the last
So I want to play Lionel. Lionel show.
Sunday. It was Sunday. I mean, everything was a Sopranos. It was it. It was it.
Hello, Andy Crowley. Yeah. Crowley. So I'm sorry. Lionel is from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. here in the East Coast on WABC. And last night he was on 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. So I want to show people that this is a great radio show on WABC. Lionel. There you go. That's why I'm playing that.
This is friends. What are they doing? It's called dating. People right now are realizing it's old school. So what this is right now is, this is a little bit different. In the digital landscape, that of course, as you know, is dominated and infected by, algorithms and censorship and community guidelines. What community? Talk radio still remains. Now, I'm not just saying this because somebody forced me to, but it remains one of the last truly free spaces to speak and to think and to opine and confabulate and conviviate and the like. Think about this. With a lot of these platforms like YouTube and X and Facebook and Instagram, they love to sell themselves as forums or forums, depending on where you're from, of, open expression. But in reality, and this is the best part, it become these exceedingly carefully curated little echo chambers, shadow banning, demonetizing, and the algorithmic throttling, that tells you, don't say that, watch what you say. It shapes you. It is the most, this is the most important. It flags you, it buries you, it bans you. On talk radio, nothing. Nothing. All you've got to do is don't say, the gratuitously stupid, and you are free. Talk radio isn't contaminated by AI bots, trying to go through your tone, trying to look through. It's the most ridiculous. Yes, you've got to adhere to FCC rules on, profanity and obscenity, which is fine. But those are clear, they're consistent, and you understand them. What you can't get is try figuring out what the hell you can and can't say on streaming. Can you talk about COVID? Can you talk about the mask? Can you talk about vaccines? Can you question science? On talk radio, you can say anything. In fact, the more demented you are, the better. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. As long as you don't drop an F-bomb or say something, gratuitously stupid, it doesn't matter. It's preferred. So what I'm trying to tell you, especially all you youngsters out there, this rather concretized and, dare I say, ossified, in some people's minds, antediluvian platform is absolutely going to reinvigorate it, which I know it doesn't need to. But this is what people are going to say, because there is no algorithm here. You're not shadow. And as far as I'm concerned, let me tell you, and as far as callers go, because let's face it, that's what people want to do. If you have a heartbeat, if you are barely able to put together a morpheme or a phoneme or a sound or a thought, no matter how insane, inane, germane, it doesn't matter. I'm there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? This is it. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. Jason in Nebraska, if you can believe this. Jason, you're on 77 WABC. Jason.
Lionel, oh boy. I don't have a topic. I was going to let you lead the topic.
Jason, stop right there. Stop right there. How I love that. I love that. Jason says, I don't have a topic. I don't know what I'm talking about. You're my kind of guy, Jason. We're on the same page, my friend. But let's pretend you had something that's remotely interesting. What would that be? Let's role play.
Well, I would tell you about my job.
Tell me what do you do? See, now you've piqued my curiosity. What do you do, Jason?
Well,
I work for an organization that protects humans from aliens.
You are my kind of guy. Can you give me the name of that by any chance, or should we guess? Aliens, you mean extraterrestrial, or illegal aliens across the border, or what?
Yeah, not from this rock.
Not from this rock. So let me get this straight, Jason. You protect us from extraterrestrial aliens, is that correct?
Every day.
That's it. That's it. Tell me, do you work for the government? Is this a privately owned organization? Tell me what you do.
Oh, no government. We branched off from them years ago.
Interesting. Now, have you seen one of these critters, as we call them?
Well, every day. I'm assigned to 3 of them.
You're assigned to 3. And what precisely does that assignment entail, sir?
Make sure they keep their asses out of trouble.
Now, do you follow them? Do they know you're following them?
Oh, yes. They look just like us.
And see, you read my mind. Maybe you're telepathic or psychopathic. I have no idea. What do they look like? And where are they from?
Okay, you got me there.
So you follow them. I like this. You follow them. You keep them out of trouble, but you have no idea where they're from. Well, how do you know if you see someone? Let's say you and I are at the mall. Let's say we're at the Short Hills Mall, and because they've got to be around. Because I think most aliens are at the Short Hills Mall. That's me. But if you and I were sitting on one of those plush chairs, what would you look for? What are the signs that they have that would indicate their extraterritoriality, or whatever the word is?
Well, have you ever seen somebody and they just a blank stare on their face and their beady little eyes?
Every day. I've been in radio. Are you kidding? Most management, absolutely. Absolutely.
They like tan trench coats for some reason.
Tan trench coats.
Yes.
This is interesting. And do they ever get themselves into mischief or harm, or is it just do they just kind of observe?
Oh, absolutely. The main thing is you have to keep them away from hookers and cocaine.
All right. You know what, Jason? Let me tell you something, my friend. You call me anytime, and I want to thank you for this. Did you know this? Do you believe in this? Let me be serious. Do you believe? I'm asking you, my friend. You listening right now. You. One of the rules of talk radio: never say they. Remember this? Never say they. Hey, all you people out there. Hey, we'll be back. Never say that. Remember that? Don't ever say, we'll be back. I had an old great program director which I said, where are you going? Where are they going? We'll be back. But do you believe, have you ever seen one of these things? And don't give me this, Drake equation business about, well, they have to be there. My God, my friends, we're going to be talking about this. So far, at 48 after the hour, this has been a melange, a pastiche, just this perfectly sinewed potboiler of just extraneous errata, which I love. Our number is 800. What the hell is our number? Oh, yeah, 800. Our number is 800-848-9222. Forget that WABC, because you can't tell that. We're going to be talking about this. I am going to say something about Diddy as soon as we're done. I promise you. But so far, these calls, I think the word is captivating. This is Lionel with you on 77 WABC.
Talk Radio 77 WABC.
This is 77 WABC Newsroom Extra.
A hot topic this baseball season is the new bats being used. After the Yankees set a new record with the most home runs in a single game, people are taking a look at the so-called torpedo bats being used by players. Physicists say the bat is unique because of where it flares.
Just looking at the different shape of the barrel, how it tapers off towards the end, so there's less mass towards the end.
Scientists work directly with the teams developing the bat, which does not look too different from the traditional bats.
The teams help with that, actually. So the teams have so much data, and you see the MIT guys, they're smart about it.
While some fans oppose the change, the league has made it clear the bats are allowed.
Major League Baseball has made it clear that this is a legal bat. For us, that's well within the rules for these torpedo bats, and then we just design within those rules. I see it no different than really changing the taper of the bat. It's just we're now putting a taper at the end of the bat as well as down towards the handle.
I'm Liz Randvali for 77 WABC News.
A station built just for you. Entertaining talk, information, and New York opinions.
That is 100% on target.
The world famous and American original. Talk Radio 77 WABC and WABCRadio.com.
Look up on the world, baby. Get me down my tonight.
Already Lionel with you. Our number is 800-848. Write this down. Lock this in or whatever you want to do. WABC. That's 9222. And so far we have, I have been nonplussed. I've got stuff to say, which I hope to get to, but if I don't, it's okay. It's okay. He's calling again. He's becoming a pest, but we love him. Joaquin. He goes by about 8 different pronunciations. He just makes this up as he goes along. How are you, my friend? You're on 77 WABC, but you already knew.
Hey, yes, I did. Hey, Lionel, my brother, man, don't be a bogo. Why don't you pass on to me whatever it is you're smoking tonight?
Now, if I was smoking, would I sound like this, or would I be more like that?
Yeah.
Remember when FM came along, and all of a sudden it came to... Robert Klein has a great thing about AM and FM. When FM and AOR radio, when it slowed it down, that was, okay. Anyway, talk to me, sir.
Okay, I got distracted last night, actually. I really want to touch on my profound thought, but I actually had some dealings with the mob, having been involved in sanitation and demolition for about 10 years. So I actually have some good stories about that.
Interesting.
But the propensity for violence, unfortunately, that's the biggest thing about it, you know. So, but
well, it's
anyway,
like radio. It's like radio if you've ever dealt with management. Some of the surliest people I've ever met, cold-blooded killers.
Okay, now, picture this. Just imagine that you are owed hundreds of thousands of dollars by somebody, and you are the one who's sitting in the corner cowering and shaking in your pants because you're afraid of them. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, but...
Let me tell you something. Joaquin, nobody tells a story like you. The way you wove that together, you stitched it, you took us into the dark, seamy underbelly of the mob. You made me live that. It was fantastic.
Actually, I was standing in the presence when we were all told that one phone call could make us all disappear. We were doing a demolition job one night in Staten Island, and the job was not moving along to the likings of the person who contracted out originally, so they called us in at night to help move things along, and some guy came walking in, and my friend was running the job, and I was standing next to him, and this guy goes, "Do you have any idea who I am? This is my job, and I can make one phone call and make every single one of you guys disappear." But luckily, my friend, he managed to smooth the guy over.
And you know what's interesting is, and you should have said, "Excuse me, do you know who I am? I'm in charge of demolition. I have explosives here. This is what I do for a living." By the way, a little story years ago, a friend of mine told me, he's a judge, and it's something that you should always tell your kids. It's a story about, do you know who I am? One of my favorites. Because you know New York is filled with people who are so full of it. I'm sorry, these wannabes. You know who I am? You know who I know?
You know who I am? Yeah,
I was having a particular
you know who I
bad
am?
day.
Yeah, fuck you.
Very nice judge. He said, "Come on, let's go out and drink." Give me a few. I was just starting. This was in the courtroom when we were drinking, which is a whole...
He's right. He's right.
Because I'm a kid. And he said, let me tell you a story. A mayor of a town goes to a restaurant. He's with his people, and they bring the bread, but there's no butter. So the little busboy comes by and says, "Excuse me, young man, we need some butter here. There's no butter." And the kid says, "I'm busy." He walks off. Oh, rather curt way of speaking to me. Maybe he doesn't know who I am. Oh, well, maybe he's having a bad night. He comes back and says, "Excuse me, young man." "Yes, I don't know if you understand this, but we need some butter." And the kid looks at me and says, "You know, are you stupid? Are you deaf? I told you, I'm busy." Now the mayor has to do something. He cannot be treated this courteously. So he stands up, towering over this case. says, you know who I am? I'm the mayor. And the kid says, you know who I am? I'm in charge of the butter. See, life's like that. If you think this is fair, you're in the wrong. You're in the wrong platform.
To the butter.
There is nothing
So in other words,
fair
you get
about
no butter. How you
anything.
get fucking, you know, mayor?
Justice,
You still get no
fairness,
fucking butter.
None of it. Just remember, teach your kids. I don't want to do a CSN thing. Let's go
like
to
that,
Sandra.
like that.
Sandra, by the way. Sandra, you're on 77 WABC in New Jersey.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, I'm
didn't go
trying
to
to
sleep
butter.
yet because I went out tonight for a Passover Seder, so I'm still up.
You're a wild woman. Passover Seder, you're going all night, young lady.
Well, when I get home, I want to feed the cat again, and I want to take care of things.
You want
Oh,
to
my
feed
God.
the cat again. That sounds like an expression. What are you doing? I'm feeding the cat again. If you know what I mean. Anyway,
Whatever. But Lyle, what I wanted to say was...
do you still want to say it? I know you wanted to say it, but do you still want to say it? Because that's what's important.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to say it. So my mother taught me when I was very young that the television is not so good because you're held hostage.
Mm-hmm.
You have to sit there to watch it. But my mother taught me early in life the radio is a great tool.
Ah, your mother was a wise woman. Well, she had you. She had you. Absolutely.
She was very wise. She used to talk to Bob Grant all the time, and those conversations were often in the car.
Yes.
Well, I heard her in the car. Like, I'd be driving to Brooklyn, and there she was on the radio with Bob Grant. So she taught me how important it is to refrain from television. You know,
Get
a
off
little
my
bit is okay,
phone!
but most of the time, if you have to listen, and you should listen, it should be on the radio. And then
Do you know what a nice man he was? Maybe, I mean, seriously, do people have any idea what a gentleman he was? What a nice guy.
Bob Grant?
Absolutely. I gotta tell you one story about this. A friend of mine, we were at the radio station at ABC years ago.
Get off my phone line.
Now, Bob, as you may or may not know, had a very serious hearing deficit. This is true. And he had an IFB, one of these earpieces, that one time he left, he had it on the table, and I swear to God, you could have heard this earpiece through brick. I mean, it was so loud. And I knew that, but still, he was just so he didn't have his hearing aids.
Oh, my God.
And I don't think I'm speaking out of turn because, frankly, he's no longer with us. And he's dead. I love that expression. He's no longer with us. But I love the guy. So I'm at the elevator. My friend is with me, and he looks and goes, hey, is that Bob Grant? And I looked. I said, oh, his hearing aid. I said, yeah. I said, yeah, that's Bob Grant. And I stood behind him and said, you no miserable, why don't you take your microphone and you talk it down, and you're no good. And my friend is looking at me. His eyes cannot bug out more. Just like a cartoon. He's in horror. He's pallid. He's wan complexion. And I knew Bob couldn't hear. And then I turned around and go, hey, man, oh, hello, Lionel. And my friend looked at me. He did not understand this. What a mensch. Let me tell you something. In the annals, notice how I say that correctly, annals. In the annals of talk radio. Cut it out. He said, I can't say without my mind, but I can think it. Joe Pine was nothing compared to Bob Grant. Bob Grant got into your soul. He was beautiful. I'm telling you, I absolutely. Remember when Bob had that horrible thing with it? Was it New York Magazine? And, oh my God, it was. I had just come on board. He didn't know me from Adam. And I waited. Everybody came on board to talk about they were in support of Bob because they wanted him out. He was the new guy, and they didn't know who I was. I go, who is this? Lynn Samuels was talking. Everybody came to his.
Oh my God, Lynn Samuels. Oh my God.
Well, I didn't say anything. I was deliberately quiet.
Oh my God, she's
So Bob's thinking, what's this new guy going to say?
Lynn
This
Samuels.
lawyer type, you know? So one day I said, well, and I really played this thing. I said, you know, I'm new here, and I don't really know Bob from Hole in the Wall. I wasn't raised with him. I never really heard him. This is before syndication. And Bob's thinking, oh no. this guy's going to bury me. But I've read this magazine, this article, and if this were an indictment, he would be acquitted because it doesn't say anything. He said this. So what? From that moment on, Bob Grant and I were bosom buddies. He was the greatest. Because like I said before I knew about hashtags, so what? If you don't like Bob Grant, nobody's making you listen. But we are making you listen to this. Coming up, hour number 2 of this thing of ours, our number 800-848-9222. More coming up.
New York's talk leader, the crown jewel of talk radio, WABC New York and 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays. 77 WABC News starts now.
77 WABC News, 40 and mostly cloudy on this Sunday, April 13th. Good morning, I'm Liz Radabali. New York City Mayor Eric Adams does not want to see any kind of limiting of helicopter flying in and around the city following this week's deadly chopper crash in the Hudson River.
Air traffic is a safe way of traveling. It is part of our economic ecosystem. Many businesses are attracted to this city because of our air traffic for CEOs and executives.
Adams tells New York One instead the focus should be on safety. Some lawmakers are calling on tour helicopters to be banned or limited following what's now the tour industry's third deadly New York City tour helicopter crash in the last 2 decades. The pilot and a family of 5 were killed when the helicopter plunged into the Hudson River by Jersey City on Thursday. Direct talks between the United States and Iran are taking place this weekend. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the talks are aimed at achieving one of President Trump's goals.
His ultimate goal and the ultimate objective is to ensure that Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon. The president believes in diplomacy, direct talks.
The discussions will mark the first direct talks between the United States and Iran in over a decade. Regarding potential military strikes against the Islamic Republic, President Trump has said Israel would lead any possible military action. The White House says illegal immigrants must leave now.
We must know who is in our country for the safety and the security of our homeland and for all American citizens.
That was once again Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, who says the deadline under the Alien Registration Act has passed. The act says all foreign nationals in the U.S. longer than 30 days must register or face imprisonment. Leavitt warned that if you've registered and leave now, you may have the opportunity to return legally. Dozens of Democrats are calling on President Trump to confirm that Elon Musk will leave his role by the end of next month. California Congressman Mark Takano is eager for him to be gone, citing cuts to the Department of Veteran Affairs.
These men and women sacrifice for our country, but he sees them as disposable line items on a spreadsheet.
He signed on to a letter this past week pointing out that special government employees can only serve for 130 days. The tech billionaire has already indicated he does not plan on sticking around. He told Fox News last month that there is plenty of time to wrap up his work, making the government more efficient. There's always some controversy regarding changing the clocks twice a year now. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are pushing to lock the clocks.
Research has shown that the abrupt shift in time, especially the spring transition, when we lose an hour of sleep, causes sleep deprivation.
Senator Ted Cruz led a bipartisan hearing this week looking into the effects of time change. The Texas Republican says it was meant to curb energy use, but studies show that's not happening. A bill dubbed the Sunshine Protection Act would make daylight saving time the year-round standard. A North Jersey councilman is being charged in a major illegal gambling bust tied to an organized crime family. Lisa Ritchie has more.
New Jersey Attorney General Matthew Platkin says Anand Shah is accused of managing illegal poker games and an online sportsbook connected to several members of the Lucchese crime family.
I am keenly aware of the public's perception of elected officials in New Jersey and the lack of trust that so many have in their public officials and governmental institutions. The arrest of a sitting council member only adds fuel to that fire.
Platkin says the 42-year-old and dozens of mob members are charged with racketeering, gambling offenses, and money laundering. I'm Lisa Ritchie for 77 WABC News.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is claiming a new research effort will discover the cause of autism by September. The Secretary of Health and Human Services made the comment this past week at a White House cabinet meeting, receiving this response from President Trump.
There will be no bigger news conference than that, so that's it. If you can come up with that answer.
Kennedy told Trump, "We've launched a massive testing and research effort that's going to involve hundreds of scientists from around the world." Kennedy has reportedly hired a longtime figure in the anti-vax movement to lead the research effort. Multiple studies have found no link between autism and vaccines. Now your forecast from the 77 WABC Weather Center. Today, cloudy skies, high of 57. 37 and mostly cloudy outside our Midtown studios. I'm Liz Radabali. Remember, news never stops. WABCRadio.com.
77 ABC. Lionel is on your radio.
All righty, Lionel with you. And I mean that sincerely. I'm not just saying that. By the way, the daylight saving, by the way, saving, not savings. I always get it confused. Here's a rule I wish they would do. This is just me. Call me wacky. Call me wacky, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. We should have a rule under my administration that we have 3 lanes on all sidewalks, specifically around major tourist, maybe around Times Square. So, that area, Midtown. And the first lane is, I'm a New Yorker, I know where I'm going, get out of my way. The second one is, I'm a little more tentative, I'm not really sure, I don't know if I want to go this way, I'm not really sure. The third one is, I'm a tourist, I'm going to stop in the middle of where I'm going and look up and take a picture of a building for no particular reason. Those people drive me nuts. Rule number 2, always walk in the direction of your face. If I see one more person walking down the street, coming at me, looking right or left, I stand where I am. I say, I don't care if there's going to be a collision. I don't know what this means. Only walk in the direction of your face. If you want to look that way, go that way. You ever come up the subway and somebody goes to the top of the step or the top and just stops? No. Also, backpacks. I hate backpacks. It's the bane of my existence. They're stupid, they're ugly, and I don't know, any man, get a briefcase, you're a grown man, stop with it. What are you, a Sherpa? You're walking around with this lawnmower-sized thing in the back? What, you got a rucksack in there? What is this? They're ugly, they're stupid, and there's always the obligatory bottle of water. Or as you say now, bottle. And that's another one. Where did this come from? I think, if I'm correct, I think Caroline Levitt said bottle or Martin or something. By the way, she's 27 years old? 27 years old? Megyn Kelly was interviewing her the other day. So you and your husband, 37 years? Yeah. That's a pretty big age difference. What does that mean? She's almost 30 years old. Age differences mean something like between the age of infancy and, a junior in high school. Now, that's a big difference. Not so much the number, but the actual cognitive development and the like. If something works for you, for whatever it's worth, what does it matter? And by the way, don't get me started with Megyn Kelly. She annoys the... I'm going to get to... I swear to you, I'm going to get to the Diddy thing. If you're interested in it... Okay, I'm going to say it right now. I've got to say this first. Did you hear this? They said, oh, Mark Garagos. Mark Garagos may be coming on board for Diddy. Mark Garagos hasn't won a case. you know it's over. When Mark Garagos comes in, it's over. Winona Ryder, Michael Jackson, what are you talking about? It's the most incredible thing in the world. They're trying to reshape his trial. Mark Garagos is coming in. Oh my God! I'm looking at this Juicy Smellet. Remember him? That was really effective. Chris Brown, Michael Cohen, Michael Jackson. Who else? I went to a veritable list. Virtually everyone he's ever represented, with and I exaggerate to an extent, but not really. They're all losers. They're all just, he loses all of them. Now here is the case, and I do not in any way. Let me just go on the record, okay, and tell you right now. I just think that by the way, good luck with some of those snacks there, Billy, because I walked in that room and I picked up a little granola thing. I opened it up, it turned to powder. I don't know how long it's been. First of all, do you know how old this has to be? The preservatives in there last 30, 40 years. You got a carbon 12 this. I opened it up, gone. It was like powder. They have the best snack room here. Stuff I don't even like. Hey, Frosted Flakes in a container. Wow, I can have all the... What the hell was Frosted Flakes? I do now. You ever go to a store? Remember the old days at a store they'd have these ladies, kind of overweight ladies like your Aunt Phoebe with a muumuu. She sets up a card table and a little frying pan with like Jimmy Dean sausages or something. These are fantastic. The smell. I'll take 80 of them. I love them. They're great. With a toothpick in it. Yes, I want more of these. And you take them home and you go, what did I buy? Whole Foods had this woman the other day. She was selling, I don't know, what she... That's the problem. I didn't know what she was... No, it was some kind of... Anyway, some kind of spread. It was fantastic. You can buy it now, give me a coupon for that. I'll take it. I want everything she got. I got it home. It's like, it wasn't the same. But I died. Let me talk about this. First of all, I don't like people who are involved in this. Number two, you should never, ever, ever make a woman feel in any way bad, weird, or strange for bringing claims of sexual abuse. That is verboten, as you know. You don't need me to tell you that. Okay. But some of these cases are, 30 years old? And I wish, because there are cases of there people, women, children, brutalized beyond anything you could even conceive of, whose cases don't get any attention. But we're making a federal case out of this? Federal? Now, they should get this guy. Look what he did to Bieber. When Bieber was a kid, oh, my God. This guy should be put into some kind of medieval torture. But when you have people, and listen to what I'm saying. Imagine this cross-examination. State your name. By the way, Diddy comes out. You know he doesn't have his hair dyed, so his hair's going to be gray. He's going to look like, who's this? That's Diddy. That's Diddy? Wow. Sit there and look miserable. State your name for the record, witness one. Yes. Now, let me ask you something. What color was the van? The what? What color was the van? What van? The van that pulled you in and forced you to go to the Diddy party 30 years ago. Weren't you the one that tried to slip in? Weren't you the one who actually gave the limousine driver money to let you know where the party was? These people are degenerates. They're lowlives. They're paraphiles. They're the flock that gets of the underbelly of humanity. But if you end up going there,